Surrender is not a white flag, giving up or giving in. Surrender is giving over to the infinite within. Surrender is not a prison, there are no borders where I live. Surrender is a freedom only letting go can give. Oh, whoa, oh, 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 whoa, oh, I'm letting go. Oh, I put a little rock into my roll. I'm letting go. Oh, 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 the seeds of love will grow. I'm letting go. So I can sing my song, I'm letting go. Oh, cause I gotta let go to hold on. I'm not Pollyanna, I'm in the trenches of the road. And I'm not living blindly, I said I've got my eyes open and I'm letting go. Oh, oh, whoa, oh, whoa, oh, 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 whoa, oh, I'm letting go. Oh, I put a little rock into my roll. I'm letting go. Oh, 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 the seeds of love will grow. I'm letting go. So I can sing my song, I'm letting go. Cause I gotta let go to hold on. I'm not a pretender, but I'm a contender to be in surrender today. Don't be a defender of doubt, but remember that you are the light of your way. I'm not a pretender, but I'm a contender to be in surrender today. Don't be a defender of doubt, but remember that you are the light of your way. I'm letting go. Oh, I put a little soul into my roll. I'm letting go. Oh, 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 cause I know those seeds of love are gonna grow. I'm letting go. Oh, 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 so I can sing my song. I'm letting go. Oh, cause I gotta let go to, gotta let go to, I've got to let go to hold on. Ooh, ooh. Let go, hold on, let go, hold on, let go. Hold on, let go, hold on, let go, hold on, let go. Hold on, let go, hold on, let go, hold on, let go. Hold on. Scrapes, burns, twists and turns, you might call me damaged. Nicks, cuts, dips and ruts, I've been bruised and bandaged. Every dark night leads to a new morning light, and all of my scars have turned me into a piece of art. Each fear, every loss and tear, all the hard goodbyes, lows, hits, all the dirt, all the grit, all of it has made me wise. Every dark night leads to a new morning light, and all of my sorrow gives me hope for a better tomorrow. It's when I'm falling, I feel so high, and when I'm crawling, that I wanna reach out for the sky. And when I'm lonely, I can hold on to the truth, that is when I'm broken open, that's when the light comes Ins, outs, screams and shouts, life is complicated. This is my wild ride, hell no, I wouldn't trade it. But every love that's gone leads me to another love song, and all of my sorrow gives me hope for a better tomorrow. It's when I'm falling, I feel so high, and when I'm breaks to make more room for love, shakes you from the inside to remind you you're alive. There's always that part that wants to close up and die, but my heart heals with thick rope-like scars I use to pull me up to the clearing where I can see the stars. The next opportunity to try extra hard to embrace the dark and love with my ever-expanding heart. Love with my ever-expanding heart. Ever-expanding heart. Love with my ever-expanding heart.
Just click it again. It's all good. Just click the overlay itself. There we go. Good morning, Celebration Center for Spiritual Living, and welcome to another fabulous Sunday morning. We just wanted to make sure that you were awake there and ready and eager for this morning. So we are so grateful that you are joining us. My name is Reverend Kris Alexander. I'm the senior minister here at Celebration Center for Spiritual Living, and I'm so glad you're joining us, whether you're here in person, whether you're joining us online, whether you're watching us from the future. Your presence here is making a difference in this community, and we are so grateful for it. If you are joining us online, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Say good morning. Let us know you're here. Otherwise, we have no clue. You could just be lurking in the shadows. Not that there's anything wrong with lurking, but we would love to say good morning back to you. So tell me, what is your favorite springtime flower? That's what I'd like to know today. What is your favorite springtime flower? And put it up in the chat, let us know. And if you are joining us for the very first time, an extra special welcome to you. It is lovely to have you joining us and checking us out. We invite you to fill out a guest card, and there are a few different ways you can do that. You can click this QR code that is right here next to me coming up on your screen. You can also go to bit.ly/CCSL guest. Both of those will take you to our online guest form where we can just get to know you a little bit better and perhaps reach out this week. Or if you're here in the room, we do have guest cards available on our welcome table at the front that you can fill out after the service and drop in one of the baskets. If you would like to put in a prayer request for our ministry of prayer, there are a few different ways that you can do that. If you are here in the room, once again, we do have prayer cards on the welcome table. You are also welcome to scan this QR code or go to celebrationcenter.org and click on the Request Affirmative Prayer button. Both of those are going to take you to a confidential form you can fill out where our ministers and practitioners will pray with you during Ministry of Prayer on Monday afternoons and also throughout the week. I am so excited for this service this morning. I say it every week because it is true every week. We are going to be continuing our deep dive into vulnerability today. We're going to be talking about letting go and letting in. So I'm super excited about that. We also have Judy Blaise as our practitioner on platform. Let's give her a round of applause. And we have a guest musician today. We have Swan in the house. Let's give her a round of applause also. I was really enjoying listening to her music this morning as she was doing the sound check, so I can't wait to hear what she has to offer to us. If you are joining us online, that means that you are already poised over that share button to just click it and share out to your social media so that all your friends can find out about us and watch the service along with you. So I invite you to share on social media if you have not already. And this month, the month of April, we are continuing our toy drive. So every month we do a monthly supply drive through our Vision in Action outreach program. And this month we are collecting new toys for any age, any child, any gender, anything like that. And those toys are going to Lutheran Social Services, to their new resource center. Their vision is to be able to hand a new toy to every child that walks through the door with their parents to get resources. And so we are supporting them by collecting toys for the toy drive. We also have our book sale ongoing. As a reminder, if you are not here in the room, there are books lining every wall in every room of this center right now. And so the books are $1 for hardcovers, 50 cents for everything else, including paperbacks, CDs, DVDs. Now, that does not include audio cassettes. Those are free. That's right, free. If you have a car or a tape deck, is that what you call them? I don't even remember anymore. So I invite you to come check that out if you're in the area. Also, feel free to share that out if you have a coffee shop that you like to go to or anything like that. It would be awesome if you'd bring some flyers, tell your friends, put them up in the coffee shop, put them up in your grocery store, your apartment complex, wherever. Let people know that we are doing this. We want to sell as many books as possible, but this is also a perfect opportunity for people to find out that we're upstairs in the shopping center here at Celebration Center. And then we'll give bookmarks, we'll give brochures, we have all kinds of little freebies and things like that. And then hopefully they'll come back on a Sunday morning to see what we're all about. Now, next weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I am going to be out of town, and so we really need volunteers for those two shifts. For Saturday from 2 to 4, and from Sunday 12 to 2. So if you are able to sign up for those shifts, that email has been going out from Miriam Catellis, or you can just email her and let her know that you'd like to volunteer for that shift. We have all of the information that you need, the binder with everything that you need to know. You can email Miriam at miriam.catellis@yahoo.com, miriam.cutelis@yahoo.com. Today, after the service, we have our drum circle with Brent Mast. I'm super excited about this drum circle. You can join us here in the room. We have plenty of drums for you. If you didn't bring your own, no problem whatsoever. We have one for you. So grab a sandwich after the service and then come back at 12:30 for our drum circle. Or join us at home. Grab a pot and a spoon and join us for our hybrid drum circle. Get your drum, and you can join us on Zoom by going to celebrationcenter.org and clicking on Enter Zoom Events. And then finally, I wanted to let y'all know, I know I've talked about her before, but my very first Science of Mind teacher was Reverend Dr. Barbara Waterhouse at Center for Spiritual Living, Asheville. And she has been on hospice for a while, and she did make her transition on Easter Sunday in the evening. And so we are sending our love to John Waterhouse, her husband, the Reverend Dr. John Waterhouse, and we are also just loving up that community. And I will be going for the memorials, or for the celebration of life this weekend down to Asheville to celebrate her. So I wanted to let y'all all know she was a figurehead in Centers for Spiritual Living and of this teaching, Science of Mind. And so many people know her even outside of that community, and we are just loving her up on her next journey and expression of life. And now I would like to invite Michelle up for an opening song. Yeah, thank you.
I just want to thank Kris and Ivor for welcoming me. What a beautiful place that you have here, and Lynn Hollyfield just does so much for this community, and I'm so thrilled that she asked me to be here with you all today. And I think we're going to start with a sing-along, and I know that you all know the song, and it's, I think, to me, sort of the quintessential letting go kind of song. So. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be. Let it be, let it be, oh, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. When the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. Though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Oh, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be. When the night is cloudy, there is still a light shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Oh, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be.
So, I'm Judy Blaise, your practitioner for this week, and let's say our vision together. We are celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. Today's reading comes from Eugene Holden, the practitioner in the Science of Mind magazine for this month. Making the commitment to be open and honest with ourselves has the potential to crack us wide open. When we allow this to happen, we no longer live life for ourselves. We live for the divine. Being one with the divine means letting go of everything that does not serve this purpose. The eternal truth is that you are the way spirit shows up in the world. Surrender to that. So let's begin our beautiful act of surrender by our breathing together that 3-part breath. So we're going to breathe in and hold it and then breathe out. So breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. And now just bring all of your parts together, deepening that space that was created by breathing consciously together. And feel yourself fully present. Be aware of your entire body. And if it needs to relax more, allow that to happen. So know with me, first of all, that we are safe because we are part of this infinite loving universe that only knows love, that only knows wholeness, that only knows perfect harmony and balance. I am absolutely one in this beautiful universal energy. And I know that the source of this energy flows through me and through every other aspect of creation. It flows through me as perfect, vibrant health, as infinite abundance, as deep, abiding joy, as perfect peace, as wisdom and understanding and compassion. And yes, as perfect love, embracing me, cherishing me, allowing me to be all that I am, truly who I am in this moment. So I know for each of us that this is the time for us to wake up to that deep spiritual perfection that we are, as we allow it to inform us to be fully human in every sense of the word. To be human is to feel everything and to still be in love. To be human is to forgive everything and still feel at peace. To be human is to be who we are, the brilliant, incredibly perfect human being in our imperfections, in our lessons, and in our learning. So I know for each of us here, as we stand in this truth of our authentic selves, that we allow the spirit of abundance to flow through every aspect of our lives. And it's not just an abundance of supply, but an abundance of love and connection and community, an abundance of vital health and well-being, an abundance of peace and joy. So in love and gratitude, I know this for each of us, and I know it for this community as a whole, and I know it for our world. I know it for the earth and all of its creatures. I know it for all the nations and all of the configurations of people coming together in community. And I know that right here, right now, we simply emanate that, and we are the light that allows that to happen. So in love and deep gratitude, I surrender it all, knowing that I am led on this path and have nothing ever to fear, because I am who I am right here, right now. And so I release this word knowing it is powerful and it is settling into my heart, manifesting perfectly in perfect harmony and balance. I let it go. I let it be. And so it is.
Sorry, Ivor. I'm going to shake things up a little bit this morning, and the camera will follow me shortly. Here it comes. So, as y'all know, we have been talking about change for change, and we're going to have change for change piggy banks, and this idea that a small amount of change can make a big change in the world. So today is it. It is the piggy bank naming ceremony. I know y'all have all been waiting with bated breath to receive and name your piggy banks. So Paula, if you don't mind helping me hand out piggy banks to everyone here in the room. And if you are online and you would like to participate in our Change for Change Vision in Action outreach, then please make a note in the chat and we will mail you your very own piggy bank. Go ahead, Paula, you can start handing them out. And if you are going to receive one in the mail, you can go ahead and name your piggy bank today. You can just look at this beautiful piggy right here as we do this naming ceremony. So we'll wait for everybody to have their piggy bank. And once you receive it, or if you're looking at it online, you can begin to look into its eyes and, just really feel into what is this piggy seeking to be called by you. So look into its eyes and feel for that name for this piggy bank to just come to you. Maybe it's something like Penelope Pig or Penrose, or maybe it's Jimmy or Sunflower or I don't know, or maybe it's a quality or a value, authenticity or brilliance. What is your piggy's name? So I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to allow your little piggy's name to well up from within you. And when you know your piggy's name, you can shout it out or put it in the chat. Goodness. We have Goodness the piggy. Priscilla the piggy. Smiley the piggy. Purpose the piggy. Oh my God, I love this, y'all. Charity the piggy. Still thinking. Anyone coming through online? Not yet. I know we have a couple of people that will be receiving their pigs later in the week. Let's see. I think I'm going to go with Penrose. Penrose the piggy. Anyone else? It's okay if you're... Oh, what? Philip the piggy. Philip the piggy. And if your name has not yet come to you, that's okay. You can just let it well up within you and know that your pig is going to tell you its name in the perfect and right time. And so as a launch to our Change for Change piggy banks, I have a little poem for us to read together aloud. So I invite you to say this with me. One seed can start a garden. One coin can start a movement. One step can start a journey. One word can say so much. One smile can brighten a day. One candle can light a room. One piggy bank can make a difference. And so I use my change to change a life. Thank you all so much. And begin collecting all of your coins, all of your change, stuff it in your piggy bank. Once a quarter, we're going to collect all of that change up, and then everybody who's participating, we are going to decide as a group where we would like to donate those funds, where we would like to support and change and help the world. If you are not here today, but you normally are, there will be piggy banks available in the future. And if you would like your piggy bank to be decorated, you're welcome to decorate it at home. But we, on Friday night, have art night with Miriam Catellis from 6:30 to 8 here in the room. And if you're online and you're going to have a piggy bank mailed to us, you can join us online, or mailed to you. You can join us online for art night. She will bring all of the supplies, and we're going to be painting a pig, decorating our piggy bank. So either, if you're planning to come to art night, either leave your piggy bank here, or be sure to bring it back on Friday night so that you can decorate it. And now, Michelle, we have another song.
So this is an original song. I wrote this a number of years ago when I had met somebody that I really, 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 really wanted to be with and date, at least date. And I was all over the place in my head. I was in yesterday, I was in tomorrow, and I wasn't being present. And when I think of letting go, I think of definitely needing to be in the present. That's the only way that I'm able to let go. The song is called Right Here, Right Now. Wake up every morning, hit my knees, and I thank God that I'm alive. I go about my day, I feel the ups and downs, and I know that I've arrived. I wouldn't trade my life with anyone, a gift that's divinely inspired. Minding my own business, playing songs the night you walked into my life. I looked across the room, I saw a set of eyes I could not set aside. Add to that a few words and a smile, you got me reeling inside. Can't help but wonder what your plans are for me, God. A little few would be nice. Then you remind me I gotta be right here, right now, alright. I mustered up the nerve, asked you out, or was it you who asked me? Doesn't really matter, all I know in my mind's all you're all I see. I need some help, bring me back down to the ground. I'm losing myself, it seems. I can't help but wonder what your plans are for me. A little sneak preview would be nice. Then you remind me I gotta be right here, right now, alright. I think I'm moving way too fast, it's funny, I really like it slow. Slow and steady wins the race, but there's so many things I gotta know. Does she love me? Does she not? Is she psycho? She's so hot. Will she leave me? Will I run? And will we ride off in the sun? Does she have the time for me? Will I give her what she needs? Am I thinking way too much? And will we date exclusively? Can she see that I am scared? I think she's scared of me. When will these questions ever cease? And I can't help but wonder what your plans are for me. A little sneak preview would be nice. Then you remind me I gotta be right here, right now, alright. Right here, right now, alright. Right here, right now, alright. Thank you.
I cannot think of a song that better sums up vulnerability than a song about asking somebody out. Oh, yes. And all of the things that our brains do when we're in that place of vulnerability, and all of the escaping that we try to do when we want to be in the past or the future or somewhere else other than in the present moment. Boy, that is vulnerability, isn't it? Thank you so much, Michelle. So letting go and letting in is our topic for today. And so let's just do a quick recap on what we know so far about vulnerability over the last 2 weeks. So the first thing that we did on week 1 was we defined vulnerability. And we are using Brené Brown's definition of vulnerability. And I even pulled out, y'all know my Bible, the Atlas of the Heart by Brené Brown. Y'all, I'm obsessed with this book. And so she has vulnerability right here, giant letters. And it's actually in the section on places we go when things are uncertain. Places we go when things are uncertain. And that pretty much sums up what vulnerability is. She says it is a state of emotional exposure that comes with a certain degree of uncertainty. It involves a person's willingness to accept the emotional risk that comes from being open and willing to love and be loved. So vulnerability, by its very definition, is the emotional exposure that we feel or experience when things are uncertain. And so then we talked about what it is not. So vulnerability is not oversharing. It is not, like a friend said this week that I thought was just brilliant, it is not leaving your brain on speakerphone. It is not blurting out every thought, every traumatic experience, every childhood story to everyone that we come in contact with, but rather it is an experience of connection. Vulnerability is a two-way street. And so it requires a certain level of self-awareness. It requires being well-bounded, being able to set and hold boundaries, and setting and holding boundaries can be a vulnerable experience in and of itself. And then last week, we talked about the things that get in the way. We talked about fear, how it is scary to be vulnerable. It is scary to not know what is going to happen. We talked about uncertainty, that vulnerability must exist in uncertainty, and we like to control. And so when we find ourselves in these places of uncertainty, what we like to do is we like to pretend that we are in control of everything, and that really doesn't work. And finally, we talked about comparison. I know when I get into a place of vulnerability, I like to look outside of myself and see what everybody else in the world is doing wrong, because that is so much easier than being in the present moment and being willing to admit that I'm in a place of vulnerability right now and I'm really uncomfortable. So this week, we're going to really dive into what is seeking to be expressed when we are vulnerable. What does vulnerability bring to us? How do we actually practice vulnerability in our lives? And the first thing that I want to talk about is discernment. And this was actually brought up by our beloved Kathy over the week. She's one of our members. If you don't know her and haven't met her, she is absolutely lovely. She lives in upstate New York. And I was on another call with her, and she was talking about discernment when it comes to vulnerability. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And so that is the first place that I wanted to go to, because we've talked about what vulnerability is and what it isn't. So how do we discern what is being called for in certain situations? How do we discern when to be vulnerable and when to not be vulnerable? Because the reality is that vulnerability, while yes, it is a practice, and yes, it is something that we want to express and we want to embody, it is not the right call in every situation and every experience with every person. And so the first question that we get to ask when we are being discerning about our vulnerability is, has this person earned my vulnerability? Does this person deserve my full self? And sometimes the answer is no. And maybe it's no just because you don't know them yet. And maybe they are deserving of your full self. Maybe they are worthy of your vulnerability, but you just don't know yet. You haven't gotten to that place with them. And that's okay, understanding where you are in the relationship and allowing it to unfold naturally. We don't have to force vulnerability. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I have absolutely had the experience where I met somebody, whether it's somebody that I'm intimately interested in or somebody that I just want to be friends with, and you just automatically feel like you have known one another forever, from babies in this life to the life before and the life before that, and you stay up all night talking, or you find a corner of the party that you're at, and you all of a sudden it's been 5 hours and your drinks have been empty and you just can't stop talking to each other because you were just so engrossed. Am I the only one that's had that experience? I didn't think so. And so vulnerability naturally in those experiences happens very quickly, and you're on the same page and you're both going there, and all of a sudden you know everything about the other person and they know everything about you, and you're connected on this heart level. That is an amazing experience of vulnerability, and notice that it still includes connection. It still includes awareness. There is a back and forth to this. Both people are on the same page. There are boundaries, that all of it is just happening and unfolding naturally. Now, sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Maybe the first time you meet this person, they do something that just kind of rubs you the wrong way a little bit, or maybe you meet in a big group and you don't really get to know them very well or something like that. And so then maybe it's a coworker at a new job, and it just takes you a little while to feel one another out. That's okay too. There's nothing wrong with any of these experiences. But what we get to do is we get to ask ourselves, where am I at in this relationship? Are we at a place that this person deserves my full self? You share a little bit more, they share a little bit more. You go out to have coffee together, and then you get to know each other a little deeper, and it's this slower sort of process. Just as beautiful, just as wonderful. Sometimes the answer to, is this person deserving of my full self? Are they worthy of my vulnerability? Sometimes the answer is no, because they have not honored and respected your full self or your vulnerability in the past. And that's okay too. Barbara Waterhouse used to say, when somebody tells you who they are, believe them. And I think that we do that so often. We so desperately want somebody to be something they are not, that we try and try and try by giving our full self to somebody, and they continue to reject us or harm us or treat us as less than what we deserve. And yet we go back again and again and again. And maybe I'm the only one that's done this, but I have definitely done this before. I think it comes up a lot in relationships, especially if you have invested a lot of time and energy into a relationship, and then all of a sudden it's not working as well anymore, but you've invested so much time and it used to be so good that you just keep trying and trying and trying. Sometimes it's family members. I know that's often what it is, that you're the black sheep of the family, but it's family. You're just supposed to be vulnerable with family, right? No. You get to honor yourself by deciding how much of yourself the other person deserves to know and have. And I invite you, if you're in any sort of relationship where you continue to give of your whole self, and it is not reciprocated in a way that is loving and vulnerable from the other person, that you look at if it's time to maybe not move on, but maybe it's time to not give your whole self vulnerably to them. And that's okay. That's what discernment is. That is what being a well-bounded individual means. It means that you prioritize yourself, your own heart, and that you love yourself enough to know when it's time to let go of someone or something or an experience or a relationship or a job or whatever it is, or it's time to let them in. It's time to go deeper. Now, the next question, everybody take a deep breath. I know it can be hard to talk about letting go of relationships, especially relationships that have been in our lives for a really long time or maybe our whole life because they are family. And yet what I know is that when I have chosen to prioritize myself because somebody is not honoring of my worthiness or my vulnerability, that there has always been an upliftment of support from the people that are worthy of my whole self. And that it all works out to where I am buoyed and supported in the way that is that I am fully deserving of. So the next question in discernment is this a safe space for me to be my whole self? Is this a safe space for me to be my whole self? Now, I want to talk about this from two different directions. First of all, there are people who are not safe in our world to be their whole selves in certain situations, certain places, most places. Some things that come to mind are people of color. There are still sundown towns, even in America. Still, to this day, in 2023, there are towns where it is not safe for Black Americans to be after dark. That is not a place for them to be safe as their whole self, right? Right now, there are a lot of really marginalizing legislations happening in many states against trans folks, especially trans children. And so a lot of trans folks are not able to safely show up as their whole self in certain situations, certain places. That I know trans folks that will only go to places where there are gender-neutral single-stall bathrooms because they are not safe to use the restroom in a public area where there is more than one stall. Or perhaps it is your family, that family gatherings are not a safe space for you to be your whole self. Perhaps it's your job. Your job is not a safe space for you to be your whole self, for whatever reason, right? And so this can be really hard because we want to be authentic. We want to be vulnerable. We want to be our whole selves, and it's not always safe. And so what is ours to do, knowing that there are places in the world that it is not safe for people to be their whole selves? What is ours to do? And this is the other direction that I want to go in. And that is, it is ours to make sure that this space, that Celebration Center for Spiritual Living, is a safe space for anybody to show up as their whole self, no matter what. That the more that we can create safe spaces where we can be our whole, authentic, vulnerable selves, the more we create these pockets, and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And in this way, we transform the world into being a safe space for anyone and everyone. And so that means that it means a couple of different things. It means that we get to practice vulnerability in ourselves. We get to show up as vulnerable even when it's uncomfortable, even when we don't want to, even when we're tired, even when we would rather put on a mask or stay home. We get to show up and be our whole self here at Celebration Center because that is how we create a safe space. It also means that we get to embrace one another even when we don't understand, or we're a little uncomfortable, or somebody's doing something that is outside of our realm or framework of knowledge, or goes against what we thought everybody did or believed, or their values are different than ours, that we get to open ourselves up, not only to be our whole selves, but we get to open ourselves up to other people being their whole selves. And this means that there's going to be some toes stepped on. There might be a few disagreements. There might be some there are going to be differing opinions and beliefs and things like that. And yet, if we remind ourselves what we're here to do, we are celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. If we remind ourselves that that is what we are here to do, then when we step on one another's toes, we have created the framework and the safe space to have that conversation, to go deeper, to invite one another into a deeper level of authenticity. That is what we are here to do. And so that discernment becomes so important. That discernment of, does this person deserve my full self? Is this space a safe space for me to be? And in the spaces that I am in, that I have the ability to, am I creating this to be a safe space for other people's vulnerability? Now, the more that we can do that, the more that we create a world that is working for everyone. And isn't that what we're here to do? It's not enough that the world works for me or for you or for that guy over there, but we want the world to work for every individual, that each and every one of us are deserving of having that safe space, that each and every one of us are deserving of living our full, authentic selves, that each and every one of us are deserving of those connections that just make our heart blossom because they are so incredible. And what we know is that those connections that are like electricity, that they can't happen if you're putting on a mask, that it is required for the mask to come off, which means that the person has to be safe enough to take off the mask to be able to have that connection. And so that's what we're here to do. That's why it is important in spiritual community to talk about vulnerability. Because I know that, it's nice to talk about oneness. It's nice to talk about God is all there is. Life is meant to be happy. It's all good. It's all God. There is no spot that God is not, right? It's nice to talk about all of those things. And yet, if we're going to actually put those things into action, we get to talk about the hard things like vulnerability and safety and security and connection and love and worthiness and deserving and belonging and all of those things. And so I want you to just take a deep breath with me and just close your eyes for a second. And think about, is Celebration Center for Spiritual Living a safe place where you can show up with your whole self? Is this a place that is deserving of your full self, where you can be vulnerable? Just think about the answer for a minute. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask this question again in our email group, and I want you to respond to me and to answer that. And if it's not a safe space for you, if there's something that is happening that makes you feel like you can't be your whole self, I want to know about it, because the reality is that our vision is to celebrate spirit within and know the oneness of all humanity. And if you don't feel like that's happening for you, then it is important for us to do something different so that we can be that safe space. And so this is just not just a talk for the people in the room for each of us to do individually, but it is a talk to support us in collectively creating a community of vulnerability and authenticity. So let's pray. And so what I know is that there is only that one thing going on. That oneness is the thing. That there is no spot that God is not. That it is all good and all God. And that we can know this, we affirm this. We see this in ourselves and one another, and we do so by asking the hard questions, by stepping into our full selves, by allowing wholeness to well up from within us. By looking at the light and the dark combined, knowing that all of it contributes to this thing that we call God, that is the one and only thing that is going on. And so we show up as our whole selves. We open ourselves to vulnerability and authenticity, and we allow others to do the same as we truly create a safe space here at Celebration Center. And as we do so here, we are doing so out into the world and creating a world that works for everyone. And I am so grateful for this beloved community where we continue to show up and step on one another's toes and be vulnerable and be authentic and try again, knowing that we all belong here. And so I simply release my word, I let it go. I know it is done as I have spoken, and so it is. And so now I would like to invite Michelle up for another song.
I love these services. I felt safe the minute I walked up these stairs and met Reverend Kris and Ivor. And I've changed my song choice because of you. I'm gonna practice a little vulnerability here. It's funny, I don't know any of you. Unless you took your masks off, I might recognize. Yeah, I'm going to practice a little vulnerability, and hopefully I'm boundering myself, but I do feel safe here. And this is a song that I wrote that a lot of people have come up to me afterward and said that song that you wrote about your mother really, really, really touched me. And my mother and I didn't know her, my biological mother. She left when I was 9. She was very sick, emotionally, mentally. She had a lot of addiction issues, and we just became estranged. I tried really hard to have a relationship with her through the years. She moved overseas, and it just never worked. And I wrote so many songs about why did you leave and what did we do wrong? And then I finally wrote this song that was really about me. And it's you might not hear it, but there's forgiveness in this song, and letting go and closure. So this is called You Missed Me. I got the news today. They said you had passed away, with no friends by your side. Your brother wrote to say that he had your remains, and did I want them? But I don't. Even know who you are. You gave birth to me and my 3 siblings, and then you went away. Promised to return. Soon I came to learn that you would not. Did you miss me? You miss me grow. You miss me smile. You miss my whole life as a child. You miss my songs. You miss my touch. You miss me, long for you. You miss so very much. You miss me. Oh, you miss me. You miss me. You were doomed from the start. They said your mama pushed too hard, said she broke you in two, one half flying wild, the other laying silent in your room. Did you miss me? You miss me laugh, you miss me cry, you miss me wondering, do I have her eyes? You miss my highs, oh, you miss my lows. It was my love that you miss the most. You miss me, oh, you miss me, you miss me. I spent half my life wondering why you left, thinking I was to blame. Now I know that there's nothing wrong with me. It was you, you're just passing down that shame. You miss me, you miss me, you miss me. You miss my pain, you miss my fight, you miss me pray for you almost every night. You miss me rise, you miss me fall. It makes me sad for you because you missed it all. You miss me, oh, you miss me, you miss me.
Wow, thank you. That's beautiful. And so this is the time in our service for our gifts and our offerings, and knowing that whatever you bring today, your time, your talent, your treasure, your tithe, your heart, whatever it is, that we are so grateful for your presence here. And if you have a monetary donation for us today, know that is what it keeps our lights on, keeps us in this building, and keeps us able to support and move forward in that vision. And you can give in a couple of different ways. You can scan this QR code. You can go to celebrationcenter.org and click on the Give button. Or we also have our baskets here up front. And I invite Judy for an affirmation and an offering.
Divine love. Let us read this together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. So let's just take a moment to remember that these gifts take the energy of the infinite abundance that comes from our love and our caring and our compassion. And that as we give these gifts, we're able to manifest that vision that we have of creating a world that works for everyone, that we know that that flow is just intensified and it also returns to us. So we are magnificent in our giving and in our receiving. So I'm so grateful to know that we are all in this together. And with our piggy banks and the change for change and everything that we do, we are creating the abundance that is the natural flow of the universe. So thank you, thank you. I am so grateful. And let us just know that we're blessed and we're a blessing. And so it is.
And so we're going to welcome Michelle up for one final song. And as she comes up and gets ready, let's give her a round of applause, because isn't her music just incredible? That last song, I was a little speechless. So thank you so much. Thank you for bringing your whole self to this space. Thank you.
I know that when Lynn comes here, she's got a couple of guitars, so she doesn't have to tune, but or retune, I should say. So I told you a little bit about my mother, and she passed some of her addictions and et cetera down to me. It's a biological thing, but this is a song that I wrote. This is about my demons, I like to say, and how I battle them, which is through a God of my understanding. Took me a long time to learn how to feel. And that's what this song is about. I feel my disease running through me, yeah, it's in my blood. I see the deception in front of me, the whiskey, liquid courage. I feel my disease running through me, yeah, it's in my brain. I see the deception in front of me, the crazy white lies of cocaine. Oh, sweet Lord, won't you help me? Won't you help me to rise above? Oh, sweet Lord, I need your infinite wisdom, your power. I need your love. I feel my disease running through me, yeah, it's in my bones. I see my distraction in front of me in the shape of a woman. I feel my disease running through me, yeah, under my skin. I see my destruction around me, more of everything, addiction. Oh, sweet Lord, won't you help me? Won't you help me to rise above? Oh, sweet Lord, I need your infinite wisdom, your power. I need your love. I feel my disease whisper to me, it's in my dreams. And I hear a voice louder, stronger, a power greater than me. I feel my disease beaten down, sleeping sound with one eye closed. And I see the power in numbers, circle of people like me where love flows. And I feel for the first time beauty, the splendor, the marvel of life. And I feel for the first time love, trust, and faith. I feel all this inside. Oh, sweet Lord, I want to thank you, how you help me to rise above. Oh, sweet Lord, I need your infinite wisdom, your power. I feel your love. Oh, sweet Lord, I want to thank you, how you help me here to rise above. Oh, sweet Lord, I need your infinite wisdom, your power. I feel your glory, I feel your power. I feel your love, feel your love, feel your love. I feel. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you so much, Michelle. Let's give her one more round of applause. Amazing. Amazing. And so just as a reminder, in about 25 minutes, our drum circle will start. It is hybrid, so join us by going to celebrationcenter.org and clicking on Enter Zoom Events at 12:30. Or if you're here in the room, you have just enough time to run down and get a sandwich and come back. And now I invite you to repeat after me. I allow wonderful things to happen through me right now. I have the courage to be vulnerable. I show up authentically in every moment. I create brave and safe spaces for myself and others. I allow others to be fully themselves. I am worthy simply because I am. And so it is.